So it's Saturday. I'm about to go up into the mountains with Kijani, my son. I think about him in a lot of ways, right? It's as a father, I guess you want to do what is right by your kid, and you want to ensure that they have whatever it is that they need to have so that they can become the best of whatever it is that they choose to become. But sometimes we get hard on them because we have dreams and desires and we have seen our lives in a sense how it is that how it is our lives have come together, and as a result of that, I guess we sometimes want to overpower them with our love and overpower them with our guidance, but in the midst of all of that we overpower them with also our fears, you know with the opportunity to go out and explore and to choose what is right for them and whatever path is right for them. Oftentimes they do choose the right path. And then sometimes when we believe that we're telling them all the right things and so that they can understand and become what it is that is best for them, is it really what is best for them, or is it what is best for us? I used to worry about my son being in the mountains and being by the river, and just be able to move himself around, you know, and wondering if he's gonna fall or this or that, or all these different kinds of stuff. And then I realized that if he wants to do that kind of stuff, then he'll figure out how to be safe. And for the most part, I have I've gone down to the river with him and sat with him, and he's used to the river. He's been going there since he's been 2 years old. But it was difficult to let go and just to allow him to go down to the river by himself and just know that he would take care of himself. And and I think that's the same thing just about all of us struggle with in some areas of our lives with our children. There's a something that we feel that we have to guide them on, and that if they don't listen to us, if they don't heed our warnings, that somehow it's going to be a bad situation for them. And so we worry and we put on a lot of pressure, and some of them end up doing it anyways. And in the end, they chose what was right for them or what they wanted to choose at the time. And there's so much time spent that we could have been supporting them, not in a decision that we didn't necessarily agree with or whatever, but rather than supporting them and focusing on the decision, just support them, period. And sometimes we put pressure on them because we want them to understand, and we don't want them to think that we're being soft and all of these different kinds of stuff. I'd like for my son to become just exactly what he wants to be. I pray for guidance to be more guided in being more present with him, and to not take my fears to him, and then to not take my own stuff to him, and just give him the opportunity to just to be brand new and do what he wants to do. Sometimes it's difficult because of their own fears. But as kids, we went through all different kinds of stuff, and our parents didn't always know where we were, and we didn't always see eye to eye, and we did whatever it is that we wanted to do, and we were fine, and we're fine. Whatever experiences we've had has brought us to this point, and we can do whatever we want to do from here. So whatever it is that we would have experienced with our parents is just something. It was just a part of our experience, and we love them and we wish them well and we let them go. Don't hold them up for anything. At least I don't. So as I raise my child, I raise my child with more of a guiding hand. And my quest is to be the best me possible. That if it is that he should emulate or he should want to be like me, then I'll be satisfied with who it is that he would become, you know. But what I want for him is for him to just explore and see life and take his time to choose. I wish that as parents we would know that we don't have to get it right. You know, we just have to do that which is in our heart is the right thing. You know, what feels good. Yeah. And so I guess the message today is really ask yourself the question, is it that you want your children to become carbon copies of you? Or is it that you want them to become their best them possible and just to create something in this world as opposed to just get an education and go work for some company or whatever the case is, you know? Are you supporting them in their dreams, or are you trying to push them in another direction out of fear that they might be chasing something that you think is not there, you know? I think when children know that their opinions are valid, I think they speak up more, you know, and they stand up for themselves more. And that is something that they have to learn from home. Is just that their opinions are valid. And oftentimes you have these kids that learn that math and English are important, but at the same time you shut up and you listen to what it is that I have to say. And so you have a kid that's academically sound, but then has zero self-esteem, you know. Sometimes in trying to even get a better understanding, you know, trying to get our kids to have a better understanding as to where it is that we are or where we're coming from with some things, we say mean things and we do mean things, and then we blame them for becoming who it is that they have become. Sometimes it's not the physical whips that hurts, you know. It's more the continuous doing of the things that, I don't know, it causes an imprint on the child, and they end up making decisions that they're not supposed to make, and it's really just crazy how because of our fears our children become not even close to what it is that their potential their potentials are, because of what it is that they've been bombarded with the moment they've come out of the womb. The programming begins right away. So I say your children go to school, you know, don't have home also be a school. I mean, yeah, you can go over stuff and you can ensure that they know stuff, but let them come home that they can be home. You know, follow up with the school and the teachers and get them extra lessons or whatever the case is. But in terms of just not giving them room to be themselves when they're away from that environment, it's a very difficult thing. And you might not see it now, but at some stage you will see that your children have become so systemized. You know, they're part of this system. It's just like school rules or home rules, and it's always the same thing. And I'm saying figure out how to make it different. Figure out how to make it an environment where they have an opinion, and that respect that we all seek and desire to have in our space, it would be there. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have grown their children with an iron fist and have done some incredibly mean things to those kids in the name of love, in the name of responsibility, in the name of a lot of things. And in my work, I work with a lot of people, a lot of men and women and boys and girls and people who are just simply hurting because a parent said something to them when they were young that they should never have said to them. You're ugly. You can't sing. You're ugly, like you're stupid. And I mean, we don't realize that when these kids look to us as their heroes, you know, there's nothing more than a parent. Not even Superman. You know what I mean? When these kids look up at us, they look up at us with everything. Mommy and daddy is everything to them. So when the vessel that they pour all their love and all their adoration into turns around and says things like you're stupid and you're dumb and you never amount to anything, and you can't, you sound horrible, and those kind of things, just really degrading things. What the child then does is that he then realizes that, okay, this is the vessel that he pours his love in, this is the vessel that loves him or her, and this vessel is saying these things. So therefore what they're going to do is that whatever it is that they did to cause that vessel to erupt like that, they will never do it again. And so if it is that they love to sing and someone says your voice ugly, you can't sing, or whatever the case is, what they'll do is that they'll just not sing again. And if it is that they were loud and funny and all that kind of stuff, and somebody says, shut up, you're not funny, you're a stupid kid, or whatever the case is, what they end up doing is that they end up becoming shy because they used to love being out there. And what happened when they're out there? They were embarrassed. And they never want to ever see their mom or dad or whoever it is the person is that they look up to. They never want to see them that angry again. So they shut down a side of themselves. And so I see people that, I mean, has gone through a variety of those kind of things. And when it is that I sit with them and get them to understand just how it is that that program that they're running right now got installed in them, from birth, you know, you're able to see exactly why it is that your life look the way that it does. And some of the things you can't really see it because these things are childhood things. And I said, like, you make some decisions and you just lock them away. That's just what we do. We just gotta make these decisions that we will lock them away. You know what I mean? And then when we get older, we start having relationships, and there's a side of us that come out, and people don't even nobody understands it. It's just because it's like it's still the pain that exists that you never dealt with, that you don't know that you have. It's a subconscious thing, and that's what makes it so dangerous. So when you speak to your children, speak to them with love. Treat them with grace. And that's always, I think, the most important thing that I can think of right now is just let them know that, just let them know and feel and understand that their opinions are valid, that they have a right to question something. You know what I mean? Whether it is that they're right or wrong, that's not the case. But as long as they have a right to question something, give them that confidence to move out into the world. Because if they don't have that confidence that they can question anything, they will always be talking about what people have done to them. And that's not what you want. That's not coming from a place of power. And I know that's where you want your child to come from. It's from a place of power. So yeah, find time to do things that are different. Things that are not necessarily watching television or just playing games or whatever the case is. Take them out into the bush. Take them someplace different. Have conversations about all different kinds of things. Just not let it be so schooly. Just actually be out there and have fun. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's kind of what I'm ready for now. So we're gonna head up to the mountains and we'll take it from there. I hope for you an amazing day, an absolutely amazing day. Blessings.